Hello and welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. Kyle!
Hey, Nick.
Would you like to raise a glass with me and have a conversation?
Sure. Yeah.
Good, because if you said no, it'd be a very short episode this week.
Well, no, it'd still be the same length. It's just you talking to yourself the whole time.
Listen.
Now I'm going to get out of here, man. I'll see you later.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to do this by myself, but I could.
Yeah, sure. I have no doubt.
My problem is, so that everyone knows, is that for the most part, you're the one who comes up with the topic.
Not entirely true.
I would 9 times out of 10, you come up with the topic.
Okay.
And
We brainstorm it.
Fair. But really, it'd just be me talking about the same stuff every week.
Right.
So
weather.
Grass.
Right.
Is the grass growing?
Right.
What book am I pretending to read right now?
Oh, man. I finished Catcher in the Rye.
Did you really?
Yep.
Yeah. And thoughts?
At this point, like months ago. I feel like I mentioned that at some point on an episode that I was reading that.
You did. It was a couple weeks ago, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long, so it's not been months. It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I actually I plowed through it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get a wild hair up my big toe every once in a while.
You should get that checked out.
Yeah, and it's like totally ingrown at this point. But
gross.
But like I
knew I smelled something.
I need to read. I need to either read like something like philosophical or a novel. Like I go through like really strong spurts like that. Like
sure.
I'm almost always like in the middle of kind of reading the thing, but like not like intensely.
Yeah.
But like that book, I absolutely did. Like
just plowed through it.
I plowed through it really quick. Like, honestly, just like maybe like over a week.
Wow.
But could have actually like read it honestly. Like it's a really simple read.
Oh yeah.
Shorter chapters and stuff. Like could have absolutely like crammed it in a weekend kind of a thing.
Oh, for sure.
If I'd have had the time to do it.
Yeah. Or if you were on a plane, you could just read it in a plane ride.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Easy.
For sure.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like I'm caught in the middle of like really not understanding why it's revered as such a classic.
Sure.
But absolutely at the same time, I loved it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed reading it. I just enjoyed like the setting that it was in, which is like kind of like this time of year in New York City, and like enjoyed the time period that it was in. So just like the whole thing of it, just really enjoyed it. Just loved being in that escapist setting.
Sure.
For a week.
I liked the book, but I absolutely despise the character. And I think it's this. I did not read The Catcher in the Rye as a teenager, which I think is the right age to read it. But I don't know if you would understand it as much.
Yeah.
But I think like most people fall in love with that book because it's like standard like 9th grade-ish reading.
Right.
But I found the character to be really annoying. But I like everything that surrounds it.
Yeah.
So like
I think you find that character annoying just as like you would find yourself very annoying at that age now.
100%. It's exactly right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so like I like what that
like
novel,
I would look back at myself at that age and be like, you naive little shit.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
God, like you're what are you why
What are you doing?
doing? Like get your act together.
Correct. I like the book itself. I just don't like Holden Caulfield at all.
Right.
And so like I have a very mixed kind of relationship with it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I absolutely loved it. I even had the thought, and like I felt really stupid for having the thought afterwards of like, man, like why did he write it this way?
Yeah.
Like the way in which the book is written, which is like basically like almost like as if you're having a conversation with Caulfield the whole time.
It's almost epistolary, which means like a letter almost.
Yeah. In a way, it's just like you're constantly in a conversation with him, but almost like in his mind.
It's a one-sided conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that he speaks and the way that he says things is so redundant, but like of the time so specifically that I was really kind of off put at it at first. And then at some point I had the realization of like, oh, this is not the way that the author is writing it. It's the way he sees Caulfield's explanation of it.
Correct.
And the way that he would say it.
Correct. Yeah.
And so like once I got that, I was like, oh man, you're an idiot to think that like, the author just wrote it this way. No, he's writing it as if the way that he would see Caulfield writing or saying it and whatever. But it did take some getting used to get past that. But no, I absolutely really enjoyed it.
I recommend it to anyone who has not yet read it, or if you only read it in high school, I would say you need to read it again.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting exploration into teenager
just a weird weekend. And certainly I think like that's like why it was kind of so interesting to me. Just like have so specifically a strange weekend as a 17-year-old in the 40s, what that was like, and like how dramatically different that is to today. So like just to be able to read an account of the activities of a 17-year-old boy at that time period in comparison to today is, I think, I'm sure that's part of why I enjoyed it so much, was just like it was such a refreshing take on society kind of a thing.
Agreed. I love what a rediscovery of a book or an introduction of something like, you should have read this. Because honestly, you should have read this as a high school kid, right. Maybe late middle school. And it's interesting, like when those things like pop up again and like, oh, I've never done this thing.
Right.
And like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Like that it was something like, it's been referenced enough in like, other media and pop culture and things that like, it was just one of those books that like, I was at the bookstore with my kids and, we picked out a few things and I saw that and I was like, I haven't read it. Want to read it.
Right.
Let me read it.
Done.
Did it.
Cool.
Enjoyed
Check. Oh, speaking of checking things off.
Yep.
Should we drink something?
Yeah. We have 4 glasses in front of us that have no liquid. They should be checked off.
Okay. Well,
containing liquid.
What liquid would you like to put inside glasses?
I've selected for us this week, Nick, a little fancy bottle by the distillery known as Talisker.
I've been there.
Yeah. Where is it located, Nick?
It is located on the beautiful Isle of Skye in northwestern Scotland.
Yep. Was it a lovely distillery?
It was.
Did they have a gift? Like, did they have a visitor center?
Yeah, they definitely had a visitor center for sure. They did. It is a small distillery.
Okay.
And I've heard rumor, and I don't know how much this is true.
Yep.
Hence, also maybe playing into our episode because I've seen some articles that they're shutting Talisker for a little while. Talisker's Diageo.
Yep.
And in order to like expand and make it a little bigger, but I got to be honest, I don't know how. Because where it's located, like there's not much room for expansion.
Right.
So I don't know how they're going to do that. But I've heard rumors. I don't know how true those rumors are.
Interesting.
But yeah, fantastic. We did a whole tour, had a great tour guide, sampled a bunch of whiskey. Then we went up the way, high-fived some sheep, and then ate some beautiful Scottish oysters and fried fish.
Yeah, on the mutton. That's cool, man.
No, we didn't eat the oysters on the sheep. We went up the hill and high-fived sheep.
On the mutton.
Uh-huh.
Right on the mutton.
What? I understand what you're saying.
You gave them a high five on the mutton.
No, a sheep is mutton.
Right.
Yeah.
But isn't it their loin slapped them on the ass is what I was getting at.
No. You had to break it down for me. I'm sorry. I'm a little slow today.
All right. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the mutton's there.
No, I think like when you say mutton, like mutton is an older sheep. Like you can get lamb, for sure. Yeah, you can get leg of lamb or shank of lamb,
right?
Or like ass of lamb, I guess.
Right. I've always assumed like the mutton was like the loin.
I don't think so. No. I could be
so
wrong.
Any part of the sheep.
Yeah, because like if you say like
mutton.
We're eating mutton, it's an older sheep,
right?
And so like, do you like lamb?
I love lamb.
Yeah, me too. Have you ever had mutton?
Nope.
It's like lamb but funkier.
Right.
Yeah, it's more.
I feel like I'd love it.
It's more lammy. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's for sure.
I love that.
Knowing you, like I know you would. Yeah.
Give me good souse meat.
Exactly. Yeah. A little head cheese.
Yeah. A little gelatinous.
Yeah. A little Vienna wiener, which has not that flavor at all. It's a different flavor. Anyway, let's drink some whiskey.
Okay.
From Talisker?
Talisker. Yeah. This. So we've featured I believe last year, probably right around the same time. We featured a little bottle of the Talisker 8 special release.
The 2021 release.
The 2021 release.
Right.
Beautiful little purple dragon on it.
We're doing it again?
Well, we're gonna feature it in this episode also alongside their special release from 2023.
Oh.
That I picked up across the pond on travels this summer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love, as I've already said before we talked about mutton, I love some Talisker.
Yeah. In that Diageo pantheon of all their different whiskeys, like Talisker is, I think it situates itself nicely enough that like it's got a little bit of that peat.
Yep.
But it's also got a lot of those nice like coastal and Highland notes in it. Like it just encompasses everything really well.
I couldn't say it better myself. That's exactly it. It is a blend of, I think, the Isla style that we like,
right,
and some of the Highland style, Speyside style that we like.
For sure,
it's a nice marriage of the two because you can't say blend.
Oh,
yeah.
But so the reason I did pick up this bottle, it's not the reason because I didn't realize until I got home. The reason this one's cool, though, for me specifically.
Yeah.
So this was at the airport in England.
Okay.
And it was an incredible price.
Yeah.
It was like on sale or something. Like,
Wow.
I got it for like, I think like 45 euros.
Whoa.
Like, it was nuts. And I was debating between, like, I think that day, like, I sent you like pictures of like, here's what I'm looking at. And I was like, I can't not get that. Like, that's way too good of a deal.
Yeah.
What's so cool about it, though, is that this, the 2023 special release, the one that we're featuring here, it's their Talisker single malt finished in a combination of ruby, white, and tawny port casks.
Oh.
Which are from Portugal.
Yes.
And so it was really neat when I realized it afterwards that this is a Talisker finished in Portuguese barrels
Because
I went to Portugal.
That's right.
On that trip. And like,
Yeah.
that's such a cool thing.
That's so cool.
I was so giddy when I figured that out once I got home, because it was, I mean, I spent a long day in Portugal and was off the boat for as long as I could be. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So figure I still got a little bit of this the 2021 release.
Okay.
We can kind of put them together, see what we think.
Let's do it. We did, man. You know what? This is 2 episodes in a row
Of
Scotch, first of all.
yeah,
Because it's, let's be honest,
it's that time of year.
and of trying an old version that we've had
Yeah.
and a new version we haven't.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous precedent we're setting.
I know. Here we go.
Do it. That's a new bottle. Thank you, sir. One for yourself.
Start here for a second. See what we think.
So which one are we starting with?
We're gonna start with the 2023.
Okay, the new one.
Yeah, let's try this new one, see what we think about it. And then, I mean, we know we like the other one.
Sure.
And I just think it'll be kind of a...
So we're reversing what we did from last week. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Not really a reverse.
Yeah, no, because with the last week we did the original one first.
Right. We don't have an original is what I'm saying. We've got 2 special releases.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm not seeing these necessarily as like comparing it to the original.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
Because this isn't the original. This is still a special
Release. Yeah. Okay.
Color-wise, to look at the 2, you wouldn't think they're could possibly be from the same distillery.
No.
They're so different.
No. Which tells me, and this kind of goes against what we said last week, that the barrel here is imparting so much color.
Yeah.
I didn't hear an age statement. Did you give me an age statement?
I did not. I would imagine it's still 8-year, but it doesn't say anywhere on the bottle that it is. It
that's
might
okay.
be
On the canister.
It's very dark. It's touching bourbon dark.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. It's dark. Especially compared to the 2021, which is
Pinot.
yeah, like
Light straw.
super light.
All right, on the nose?
On the nose. Oh man. Like a really deep breath really goes into like some just like dank wood, but like clearly like being influenced from some sort of a wine natured barrel.
You've not had this experience, but having walked on the Isle of Skye
Yep.
and walked through a heather patch field, I walked up the side of a hill.
Right.
Okay. And you're walking through grass.
We call those mountains in Alabama.
Yeah, they probably call them mountains on the Isle of Skye as well. It was a hill.
Yeah.
I walked up a hill and like you kind of get, it comes up like maybe mid calf or so, like the grass does.
Right.
Like that's what it smells like to me.
There is like an earthy
woodiness, but like sweet.
Yeah.
Like if that were in a grape field, a vineyard,
Right. Grape pasture.
Right. And there's some winey notes for sure, but I don't know if I would. First of all, I don't think I'm well versed enough to say like, oh, that's a port note.
Sure.
It's wine, but it's not as pronounced as some of the. It's not to me as pronounced as like the Craig Allergy from last week. Where like, oh, there's a wine note.
I think I would certainly pinpoint that it's not white wine.
Sure.
It's definitely in a darker realm.
Now that I go back to it, I'm getting like dark honey too.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's where it is. What was the
like
ABV?
59.7.
Oh, okay. I'm shocked by that.
119.4.
Woo. You don't get a whole lot on the like. There is proof there.
Yeah,
but it's not 119.4 proof.
Yeah, it doesn't like curl your eyelid.
No,
from like
not at any like nowhere close.
Yeah, no, like you can take a deep breath.
That's dangerous.
I'd love to be like there is like a specific fruit, and I'd love to be able to say like, oh yeah, like you get that apricot. I don't know what it is because I don't know my fruits that well, but it is like a preservey, jammy.
Agreed, but it feels like maybe like a plum.
Yep. All right, let's do a tasty taste.
Sure. Whoa,
man, slap a peat.
Like
That's not a pop of peat.
How does that?
How's it hidden? Yeah. How's it that hidden? Yeah. Right?
Wow.
Oh.
It was. Did you smell peat at all?
That was not a thing that we said.
How in the hell? That is
closest we got to is dank, earthy cask notes.
That is so bizarre.
That slaps you with peat.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Like that is a
Pete got a little ornery and just came over and slapped you. Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I know. And like even still going back to it.
Yeah.
It's not there.
It's not on the nose at all. Talisker, how did you guys do that? Because like normally that is the prominent note.
Whoop.
Prominent peat.
Yeah.
Like that is I've had 2 sips and that's it.
And it's interesting too because it's sweet peat.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like I can't really think of anything else where it's like usually that peat is kind of like it's paired with bitter,
astringent,
and it's paired with like maybe like a sour kind of thing.
Yep.
But this is like sweet peat, almost like a smoky port wine.
Yeah. And it's got to be, man, it's got to be the port. It's got to be that wine that's like, it's tamping the peat down on the nose.
Yep.
And then like accentuating it on the palate. It's got to be. I am gobsmacked, man. Like that is fantastic. And that's spicy, like really peppery spicy. Whew.
Yeah, for sure. I just had this thought.
Yeah.
Before we had gotten to Portugal, I had talked to somebody that was from there. Was talking about how excited I was to go on this trip because we were going to get to go to Lisbon, and that person said, make sure you get the liqueur from Lisbon. It's like it's what they're known for. Like it's I would imagine it's probably just like a little something that they have they sip with fish or whatever.
Yeah.
And as we were nosing this, I remembered, oh shit, yeah, I've got that. I bought a bottle of that, and this dark note that I've got is I'm wondering if maybe it relates to this. It's called Ginja? Jinga?
T Ginja?
T Ginja.
T-I space.
Yeah.
Ginja.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
And I had some while I was there
okay.
with some nice little like fried sardines, and they're delightful. But it's a cherry liqueur.
I like cherry.
Yeah.
So we got some in our Glencairn?
Yeah. Got a little bit here just to kind of see if maybe that's something that's like relating here.
Interesting.
Just that dark red fruit note.
On the nose, like it's very much like kind of cherry cough syrup.
Yeah,
but
touch of that.
I don't think it's far off what you just said. Like there's some note in there. I want to go back to the Talisker.
Yeah,
it's
related. I feel like it's related on the nose. It may be completely off on the palate.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, what are we doing?
Just a little sippy sip.
Okay. Ooh, that's very sweet.
Yeah, there's like an interesting like bready, crusty thing happening. Like beneath, obviously, like an immense amount of sweetness. But even still, like I don't know that I would like pinpoint it as like it's not like it's natural cherry.
Right. It's not like maraschino.
Yeah, it's not
cherry.
what you think of like candy cherry.
Correct. Yeah, it's natural cherry.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that the sweet makes sense, and the dark cherry, the dark fruit makes sense.
Right.
Actually, I quite like that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's very sweet.
You know what that would do? Make a killer old fashioned.
Oh yeah, it would.
That'd be great.
Put that in the dirty Shirley.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
When you go back to the Talisker real quick, in that like the sweet dark fruit note is definitely there. So I'm going to say that's where the port is coming out.
Right. I think there's just something about like this concept of like Portuguese wine is usually dark, has these same kind of like notes to it.
And very sweet.
Very sweet.
Usually port's very sweet.
This Ginja, Ginja, whatever it is, same kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It has that same signifier of it being Portuguese. Like we didn't even talk about like that. That's why there's like on the bottle itself there's a Portuguese vessel with a sailor.
Yeah.
Because Portugal was like the starting point to so many great explorations and things like that. Like that's like what they're celebrating in this bottle. Yeah, it all feels related. It all feels like it makes sense together in this weird, strange way.
And then accented by this like butt slap of Pete.
I mean, like forceful slap of Pete.
Like it's rough.
Like you turn around, you gave that person like, why did you just hit me that hard?
Yeah, like that was a little too much.
Yeah, that's
like that's not enjoyable anymore.
Hey. Sorry.
Should we try the 2021 against it?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what that one does. Certainly not related in any way.
No.
Completely different concept here. But this one was 8 years, and selected from their smokiest reserves.
Yeah, that's right. This one was like,
Well, to know what kind of a peat slap that was.
well, that's what I was just gonna say. If I remember right, this
Maybe.
one on the nose was more peat.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is on the nose. Wow.
All right, in the glass, the 2021 is, as we've already said,
Dirty water.
yeah.
I mean, actually, clean water.
It's clean water. I was gonna say, like it's light.
It is so light.
This individual is well hydrated.
Oh my God, that is such a beautiful nose, though.
Oh. But can I say the peat's kind of hidden here too?
A little bit. Yeah, this is way more honey forward.
Oh yeah.
Honey and like confectionery?
Yeah, it's
Like
very
powdered sugar?
It's very powdered sugar, very like buttercream frosting.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of vanilla starting to pop in now.
Yeah. All right.
Woo! Yeah, you think that's going to be just icing on a spoon.
Oh, but go to the palate. Oh.
So different.
Is that what Talisker is? Like I can't even remember. Like, does Talisker just hide the peat really well? And like it's just
You see, like,
wow.
from my memory, like Talisker is not that peat forward.
Right.
Like just regular like Talisker 10 or whatever. It's a more subdued peat.
Whoa.
But maybe it just comes through with proof.
Maybe. Woo. That is fantastic. All right, I got bad news though.
What was that?
The 21 over the 23.
I would say that the 21, the peat is still so loud.
Yeah.
Still comes through, but it's more so at the back end, whereas like the peat on the 2023 is like there start to finish. So that evolution is I think more interesting, where like the 21 is on the front of your palate just this sweet honey confectionariness, and then the peat slowly wafts through and completely takes over.
Yeah.
The 2023 I feel like is more a unified expression. There's not as much of a roller coaster twist and turn.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing at the beginning that it is at the end, but I kind of feel like that just experiencing all those flavors at the same time throughout the sip is kind of delightful and interesting.
See, and I'm more of the I like that roller coaster the 2021 gives.
Normally I would say the same thing.
I really like that like
I think I like the 2023 better.
Yeah.
Separating it out, I feel like I think that the interestingness of the port and the tawny, I think those things are coming through in an interesting way. I think the 2021, it is a hell of a whiskey.
Yeah.
But just for the expression of what this is in this moment, I think the 2023 to me is a touch more well-rounded.
Interesting.
And not as, and again,
Yeah.
I'm usually like one for that roller coaster.
Yeah.
I do usually enjoy that ride. Interesting pours though.
Super interesting. And I will just say, like, my shocker of this is how well both obscure the peat on the nose.
Yeah,
I feel like
incredibly
that's,
so.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Kyle, now that we have two interesting pours.
Can I say really quick?
No.
I'm beginning to
I
kind
said
of like
no.
I'm beginning to think that like Talisker might know what they're doing.
Okay.
I've only had the Talisker 10 and then these two bottles, and the 10 is great. I think as a kind of a banister, like this is our flagpole whiskey.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's right there, and it's interesting. Both of these expressions are crazy good, and I've heard such good things about Dark Storm and Surge,
Right.
that I've seen them. Certainly, like, we go on enough boats and things that like I've seen them at duty-free spots and just never pulled the trigger on it. But like after this, these are so good, I'm kind of kicking myself.
Yeah.
Like, why have I never picked those up?
For sure.
Because they're always at a good price
Yeah.
at those spots. Like, that needs to be a thing next time I see those. Like, this is just delightful. And it kind of makes me want to go ahead and just go all in on Talisker. I need to try everything now.
I feel like it's one of those, like, not that it's hard to find here, because I don't think it is, but it's almost like a sleeper brand. It's like Diageo is like, okay, our big brands are this, but also like, here's Talisker. They're out there in the northwest of Scotland doing the thing.
Just doing their thing. Keep it quiet.
Yeah.
For those of you who know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think Talisker might be that'd be my running bet, is that's going to be the pick. Obviously, like Lagavulin might be right up there, but there's something with like that sweeter smoky Scotch.
Sure.
Whereas like Lafroig being so bitter and dark and smoky.
Yeah.
Ardbeg, I think, is kind of in that same realm.
I'm gonna say the Talisker is the sleeper because the Talisker doesn't have all of the peaty notes on the nose. Because like you open a bottle of Freud and everyone's like, who's putting Band-Aids on?
Right.
You know what I mean? You open a bottle of Lagavulin and you're like, it's darky smoke in here.
Yeah.
But you open a bottle of Talisker.
Oh, that's pretty.
And then you like try it. You're like,
oh my God.
Oh. Yeah, fantastic all around. And I think the Talisker is one of those distilleries that's like, in some ways forgotten, at least here. Because it's not one that you hear a lot about,
right.
But everything I've had, I've enjoyed.
Yeah, this is a great lineup.
Agreed. Man. Now that we have two great pours, Kyle.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about this week?
You know, we've certainly discussed the implications of AI.
Oh,
you know, whether it be
actually some of our like biggest downloaded episodes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody's talking about it, certainly, and it's easy to see all the benefits and like the crazy amazing things that AI can do that are just absolutely mind blowing to those of us born before 1990. However, it's also, I don't think, hard to see the negatives of it and see the downside to AI.
Sure.
And I came across a very clear example of that for myself recently.
Ooh.
Which was on Facebook, was flipping through my feed. And I mean, first of all, Facebook is such a shell of what it once was. Like it's not even the same thing. But you know, it's so much just articles and stuff now. And came across an article, and it was the first time that I was faced with an article that was so clearly fake and not written by a human.
Wow. Like it struck you.
Yeah, that it was just like, what? Like even just like the clickbait aspect of it. Like the title of the article was essentially a coach was being fined a large amount of money that didn't make any sense whatsoever for anything that could have possibly been done on or off the field.
Yeah. You're talking about football?
Indeed.
Okay.
American.
Okay.
And it made no sense whatsoever. And then I read the article, and just reading the article in and of itself, it was like very clearly, this is not a person writing this.
This is all AI.
Yeah, this is 100% AI putting together bits of information, trying to generate a trigger response.
Sure.
Kind of thing. Trying to generate anger.
Yeah.
Or like just frustration or whatever. And it was the first time that I could think of like seeing like a written document like that. Like, sure, we've all seen the artificial intelligent illustrations of like, hey, this is what Zelda in the 50s would look like.
Right. Or like the images of like, I don't know, it's mashed potatoes and somehow it like morphs into like sheep or something. Right. Like those are just creepy.
Yeah, and then clouds. Yeah. We've seen the visual aspect of it, but like in a simplified realm of like just the written word, just text that is not based in any form of factual information. That's all built on information, or not information, but just written in a way to try to trigger a response.
Right.
Was very sad and frustrating.
Jarring?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word. Like like as I'm reading it, like at no point was I ever triggered by it.
Right.
Because like I said, like what? The title was so bizarre and crazy and in and of itself made no sense that as I read the article, I'm just like, this is clearly not from a person. This is clearly a bot.
Sure.
That's out there making this false narrative and trying to get a triggered response.
But you just said something that most people would not do.
Which is?
Read the article.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like the point of an article like this, like obviously it exists. And you said it's clickbaity. It's there to cause angst and anger. But like most people aren't even going to read the article. They're going to read the headline and go, what? That's crazy. Move on. And then
but I think what the point of it is try to get you to go into that comment section.
Oh, for sure.
And start engaging there.
Correct. And most people will do that without actually reading the article.
Right.
So in some ways, it's like, yeah, of course, it's done the thing that it set out to do.
Right.
It's got, and it will get people to do the what? what? That's crazy. Let me go comment.
Right.
Without reading the article.
Or like, let me go straight to the comments and see what people are saying about this thing.
Right.
And like, like, have you noticed the thing now? I think it's just on Facebook that I've noticed it. But where like Facebook Meta, when you go into the comment section first, there's this new now paragraph up at the top that is
flags it.
Well, it's not a flag. It's just like, hey, here's the gist of what people in the comments are saying.
I haven't noticed that. No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like here's the most people are kind of saying this about this while other people are saying this. So you don't have to actually go through and read the comments. You can just kind of get
probably AI based too.
Which is obviously AI based. So like it's an AI giving me a recap of what other AIs are saying about this AI article. It's like AI Inception.
We're on Facebook.
I'm from Alabama.
Yeah.
90% of my Facebook feed is college football.
Wow.
All right, so this article.
Football.
From CFB Alerts, college football alerts.
Got it.
If I go here to the comment section, if I just like, if I get the gist of like whatever's happening here, if I go to the comment section,
click it.
Up at the top,
Meta
AI is what people are saying.
Interesting.
Commenters debate the legitimacy of a 3-loss team in the playoff, particularly Alabama. Citing weak losses, it's giving me a whole breakdown of what people are saying. So if I don't want to go through and like read reading what are these people saying, I can get the gist of it now from AI.
So you can comment based on those comments and add
based off of AI's assessment
for
of what
sure.
people are saying.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Like what a world that we fucking live in.
Okay. I think we've said this before, but this is as terrible as it's going to be. It's going to only get better from here. What I'm interested in is you recognize that as being false, as being constructed, as being not human.
Right.
And that comes from a well-educated individual.
Time out. What did you just say?
What?
You think this is as bad as it gets?
Yeah, it's only going to get better from here. AI will only get better from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Did I say that incorrectly?
No, just the way that you said it, I thought you were saying that like to me, like what makes this bad is that it's terrifying that the situation of people
absolutely
accepting it.
Absolutely.
And so like to say that like it'll only get better, I was like, no, I think it's gonna get way worse.
I'm saying AI will only get better. AI will only get better. Okay.
Yes.
So the fact that you recognize that a multiple degree educated individual
right.
who reads a lot, who understands written word.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
You recognize
this article is silly. And there's no reason to take it in any other form.
Correct. But how many people read the same article you did and did not get that?
Right.
And that's not me demeaning someone who is not as educated as you are. I don't mean to do that at all.
Right.
I mean that what this AI is doing is preying upon people who are not willing to take that next step or are unable to take that next step. And I think it's only going to get better to the point that where you and I
it's no longer discernible.
Can't discern it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that to me is the most frustrating part. Not that you stumbled across one. I guess in some ways, who knows how many articles we've read that are also AI generated at this point.
Yeah.
But like, not that you found one that was just shitty.
You're right.
Because like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that at some point it will be undiscernible from a human actually writing it.
Right.
That to me is the worst part.
Yeah, agreed. Like it was jarring to see that, and it's just like at the same time terrifying because like I don't know if I did on that article go and like click on comments just to see what was being said.
Are other people like, what the?
Yeah, because like it was so obvious to me that I was just kind of like dismissive of it.
Right.
But then I started to think about it of like, man, that's absolutely terrifying that kind of a thing could just be so easily put out there and released.
Yeah.
Clearly only to create a response.
That's all it is.
Also, too, just as terrifying is that it's something as silly as college football.
Right.
Like there are so many like real issues that same kind of a thing could be applied to that would actually end up with horrible results.
Real implications, not just the team, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Not just like getting people frustrated about a sport.
Take that holiday season.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
Like to be fair, like we talked about doing some like Christmas stuff.
Right.
We're gonna do that next week.
Yeah.
Because next week, Kyle, the episode will release on Christmas.
Man.
And so, people are going to spend their Christmas listening to Drep and Stone.
Yeah. I mean,
as
soon as the kids are awake,
yeah,
while you're opening presents, what better way to like really, set the mood?
Pour yourself a whiskey and listen to Drep and Stone.
To Drep and Stone. Put in the earbuds.
Oh, yeah. Tune out those kids.
Watch little Timmy.
They're going to be complaining about their presents anyway.
Like, why did I only get 33 this year? Last year I got 32.
No, last year I got 36, which is why I only get 33.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
But in the Christmas season, this is the kind of stuff I think about.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anyway.
Stupid AI. You know what's not AI? Oh, what if Talisker is AI?
No, it's not. I met Jim.
What's AI whiskey? What do they do?
Stop.
What do they do?
Stop. That's when we quit.
Oh,
That's
man.
when we quit.
We won't know it, though.
I think at first we will. We'll be like, what is this shit?
Step and Crone will come in and start taking over our job.
Fine. Yeah, you can have it at that point. Do what you need to do, Step and Crone.
Kicking Nyle.
I don't like those guys. On that note, you got anything else?
No. I've finished all said whiskey.
Yeah.
And conversation complete.
Good. It's 1 week till Christmas, and I've got some more shopping to do, and I know you do too. So do you want to go hand in hand and go shopping?
Okay.
All right.
Why not?
Let's wrap this up, and then we'll go.
Okay.
Well, we'd love to know, what do you think about the Talisker special releases?
Yeah. Like what's the one that you had that just absolutely like knocked your socks off?
Yeah.
What's that expression like? Let us know. Like, have you had Surge? Have you had Parlay?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know why I haven't at this point. I'm a little ashamed.
That's okay. We're going to go rectify that because we're going to go get Christmas gifts. But we're going to, honestly, we're shopping for ourselves.
Well, I'll buy you something, you buy me something. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
What we can do right quick.
All right. We'd also love to know, have you come across an article or Facebook or Instagram post, social media that was very clearly AI, and what did it do to you?
Like, how did you notice it?
It was just outlandish, or did you actually read it and you're like, wait a second?
Yeah. Did you kind of buy in for a second?
Yeah.
Like, wait a second. Oh, wait. No, this isn't real.
And let us know. That way we can write to the company that is putting out that crap, and we can cease and desist. We'll get the Drep and Stone lawyers on it. Listen, you don't want to mess
Mighty
with those
fine
guys.
lawyers right there.
Yeah. The
lawyers. They practice law. Not lawyers. They don't practice the law.
Yeah, they're lawyers.
Yeah. Slow talking.
Correct.
Whiskey drinking. Lawyers.
I saw My Cousin Vinny. I know how this shakes down for sure. Wasn't that set in Alabama?
I have no clue.
You've never seen? Have you not seen?
I mean, obviously I know the movie.
Yeah,
I've seen bits and pieces.
I think
but I've
Fred
never,
Gwynn is the lawyer, the judge, or the lawyer, the judge.
The lawyer.
Fred Gwynn. No, he definitely is a judge. Yeah.
No clue.
Oh, well,
I don't even know who that is.
That's okay.
Oh, Fred.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
You know,
Tennessee. He was a senator.
Herman Munster was a senator.
Nope.
Okay,
Talking about a different guy.
there you go.
There was an actor, very famous actor, in a bunch of stuff, who was like a Tennessee senator, and then when he was done, he acted a bunch. Anywho,
Cool. On
neither
that
here
note,
nor there.
On that note, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
One word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. Come find us wherever you can, look at socialized media, and you'll see some of our stuff.
Sure. And I have 2 words. Support us.
Ah, good one.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.